Alright. Actually, there's something I want to change. What? Mr. Tree said... Please point the camera somewhere else. And because I'm so respectful, I did that. So, there's also something else I realized, because, for example, if I think about doing these videos, and I really pressure myself, and I have these really high expectations based on, you know, potential expectations of potential viewers. Right? So right now I'm looking at the stats and I think, it's not increasing, people don't like what I do. And then I start to change stuff just because I want the viewers to increase. And then suddenly I try to like look for all these things I could say now to get people to like what I'm doing. And then suddenly I start hating what I'm doing. And that would mean always trying to think of really smart things that I could say. And then I'm trying to plan ahead, and then I make like, you know, I write down notes before an episode. And then I try to stick to these notes because, you know, what I say has to be really meaningful. Well, that's just bullshit. Because then you're already not doing what you want anymore. But you're trying to give people something specific other than yourself. Because you yourself is just the person doing what you would do normally, and if you do that on YouTube, you're not in danger of losing yourself. Because the way to lose yourself is by changing in a way that people may like you better. Instead of always focusing on how do I feel on the inside. And that's also exactly why I can actually talk about the same shit over and over again. And it doesn't really matter, because somehow it's always packed in a different way. And if somebody comes along and says, I don't like what he's doing, well, then he doesn't like me, and then I can't change that, because actually, you know, it's not me he doesn't like, it's himself he doesn't like. He just doesn't want me telling him that he doesn't like himself. So maybe he wants somebody else who kisses his butt and says, oh, you're such a nice person, you know, you have to have the boss mentality. And not somebody like me who says, you know, fuck boss mentality, you know, just be who you are. Don't give a shit about people think, but try to be as nice as possible about it. Because people don't like that. People don't like that if they realize that you don't care if they like you or not. But you have to maintain that. Because it's a mental construct that you have to work for. And that's why, in the end, you gain freedom by doing what you want and not what other people want. And that's, for example, you go to the park and you slackline, right? And you've slacklined there hundreds of times. And maybe the last 20 times you thought, oh man, I really would like to slackline without a shirt on. And then you think, oh, but what will people think? You know, I would really like to take it off because, oh, the wind feels so nice and I just want this kind of freedom. And then you think, no, I cannot do that because, you know, maybe people sexualize me then and they look at me like, oh, look at his six-pack or whatever. And then you don't do it. And then should be exactly the moment where you think, wait, why don't I do it? You know, you don't do it because you think of other people first. Well, the last 20 times I thought of other people first. So surely if I do it the 21st time, it should be alright. And I also can choose the moment, right? I mean, if there's like people actively watching me, I don't have to take off my shirt. I can wait till they leave. And when I feel like now is the moment, I take off my shirt and I slackline. And then I don't have to do it all the time. I just enjoy my 10 to 20 minutes where I get to slackline without a shirt. And then I put it on again. That's just all there is to it. You do it in a way you know, that is nice for you, but in a way also nice for others. So you don't rub it into people's faces all the time. You know how awesome you are and how free and you look, no, I can do what I want. That's just what you call respect then. Because yeah, in a way I don't give a shit what people think of me. But I also don't want everybody to hate me. So it always depends also how the other person is towards me, of course. And by the way, eating and talking should be kept separate. So when you're sharing a meal with others, I believe it's better to actually not talk at all, to just sit there and shut the fuck up. Yeah, that's what I believe. But yeah, also, when you set yourself goals, such as 177 videos, you know, till the end of the year, you also have to make sure, of course, that, you know, the love isn't missing along the way. Because if you have like really these strong goals, at one point you may just hate it. So maybe it's also good to just take 1 or 2 days where you don't record anything, but somehow, I don't know yet. Usually I just pull through until it's over and then I try to relax a bit. But it's also not just because I choose to pull through, but because my feeling tells me just keep going. Like, you have to do this now. And then I cannot sit still, because what else is there to do right now? I can walk around and randomly talk to people, but I would much rather work towards my goal and then talk with people that I really like all the time, which is then maybe my wife, right? So in a way, all the time I'm just sitting around doing nothing, kind of a waste of time to me. So then I rather push myself a bit. Yeah, I know I have heartburn and stuff, but I also know how to not have heartburn again. So it's just a way of getting there. And right now I don't yet see it. Sometimes I see it, I can almost feel it, right? It's almost there, but then it slips away again. And then I have to like work extra hard to catch up with it. That's the feeling I have, right? Like, oh, I think I'm almost done, right? I think, you know, I'm almost there. And then you get something else to do. And then you wake up and suddenly you think, oh shit, I thought I was there already. And then you realize, god damn it, you know, maybe you knew it all along. You first had to do these 20 podcast episodes which I recorded in a couple of days, and then you get to the point where you think, okay, shit, I thought I had it, but now I realized I didn't want it, but you know, my feeling told me already. 1 episode per day for YouTube. Crap. And then comes the feeling of, I don't want to do it. But that's just on the outside. On the inside, you're silently preparing for it. You're just waiting for the moment, and then you strike. So you could say that all this bickering is just the ego that's trying to resist it, because it knows where it will get you. And in the end, you just shut up and do it anyway. Because it's not just for yourself, and that's what the ego wants. It just wants to do stuff. It's only for yourself. But doing these YouTube things, it's not just for myself, it's also communal, right? And that's why masturbation is very egoistic, because that energy is wasted. It's gone. Nobody can use that. Nobody. It's just for you to feel good, and that's selfish. And of course, for that you need some kind of spiritual mindset. Because if you think well, it's just semen, you know, I'm just releasing sperm, you know, I'm an animal. Then you don't have this kind of mindset of, well, you know, everything's connected, we are all one. You know, I receive energy from spirit, and if I'm charged with energy, I can like give it to my surrounding world so that everyone can heal, right? So you lift everybody's energy by spreading healing energy. But if you then masturbate, it's just like poof, and you shoot yourself up a bit, but you know, it has nothing to hold on to. It's just like vroom. It's like taking mushrooms. It's just for yourself. And then it's actually destructive. Because imagine now, you use the same energy that you use for masturbation to create all kinds of contents that will help other people. You can use that energy to cook a meal. Because it starts at the root chakra. That's where the energy first comes in. And that means if you release it there, it's gone. But you can also bring it up towards your heart and your third eye. And then you connect it, right? Bottom to top. And that means if it's in your heart and you cook, like everybody can share a meal that you cooked with lots of energy because you have so much to give, right? Have a meal, like have a feast, right? But that takes practice. And that's a more wholesome approach. Where you say, you know, I am not just here for myself to have a good time, but to enable others to have a good time as well. And then you figure out how do you get there. And if everybody would think like this, we wouldn't have these selfish rich people who are okay with just being rich by themselves, like all these Hollywood people. No, they would rather be poor and live on the streets, or they would just, you know, spend their days, I don't know, sharing. And I don't mean money. It's not just about sharing money. It's about sharing other things, like your insight, you know, going somewhere and helping them cook or something. Like being present, being active in the community. That doesn't mean just money. Money is one way. But you shouldn't just go around giving people money. No, you should enable them to come together so you can use your money, for example, to buy a house. And then you let other people live there for free. You can, for example, use money to buy food, cook a meal, and then invite people to come together and have a nice time. Because you can give it. But don't just give people money, because money makes them selfish. You can give them maybe experiences. But don't just go giving people money. That's just lazy. Also, I stopped using eggs again, because they're dishonest. I mean, maybe if it's your own ones, but you're still eating unborn children. And that's just wrong. Like, why can't you just have chickens for the sake of having chickens that have a happy life? Because there's not many of these around these days. And why can't you just have children for the sake of having children? Instead of thinking of the social money you will get out of it. Or like the state, you know, they want to catch all the children so that they can educate them and manipulate them into believing that they have to work in these stupid jobs to contribute to the country. No. So probably you can say, look at the way people eat, and you know how they themselves are being treated. Because basically the children that we have are just used, you know, so that others can later harvest their energy. That's just how it is. But the weird thing is that I still don't really manage to get to this point without food. Like as soon as I start to fast, I feel like something's missing, you know, I have to eat. And then I find myself eating again. And then you're just one step away from your next coffee. Or being invited to somebody's place and they serve you meat. And you don't know how to say no. So that's an important one too. So learn how to say no. I would have stopped this video already. But I just want to eat now. So then I can be over with it and do something else. But now of course I have all kinds of energy which I have to somehow spend. And of course I may just drink a coffee, but that would be stupid. But yeah, that's generally how I do things, you know, you just think about it. What do I want? How do I want to do it? So I see myself recording this episode. Here under the tree, I feel resistance. I have the idea of eating pancakes and I think, well, that would be kind of stupid. Why do you want to eat more sugar again? And then I go back into my room and I lay down and I think, well, this is even more stupid. So why don't you just eat those stupid pancakes and then record the episodes, and then at least you've done that. And I just realized I just need that for a while, until I don't need it anymore. But right now it helps me. And that brings me again back to psychedelics, of course, because they helped me. But then at a certain point, I didn't need them as much anymore. And now I think I've stretched out the patience of anyone possibly listening to this. And I also highly dislike it sitting here if I know that there's people there. So, you know, it also has to be nice for me. And for that reason, I'm going to stop now and go somewhere where nobody the fuck can listen to anything that I'm saying. And hide in their balcony. So, thank you for that.